Trump administration officials today again blame China for the global pandemic. At the same time, mixed messages on how and how fast to get the economy going again. Nikole Killion is at the White House.
President Trump returned to the White House after a working weekend at Camp David. With more states poised to reopen this week, the coordinator of the White House coronavirus response urged caution and chastised anti-lockdown protesters for not social distancing, like these in Michigan.
It's devastatingly worrisome to me personally, because if they go home and infect their grandmother or their grandfather who has a comorbid condition and they have a serious or an unfortunate outcome, they will feel guilty for the rest of our lives.
As the Senate heads back to work Monday, the White House now indicates it may hold off on a fourth stimulus until it sees the results of previous relief efforts.
There may well be additional legislation. There's kind of a pause period right now.
Governors who have asked for around $500 billion in aid are worried.
The president, vice president, and Secretary Mnuchin have already committed to it multiple times, and now, the message seems to be changing.
This is about firefighters, police, EMS, teachers at the point of attack.
But treatment for some of the most seriously ill coronavirus patients is expected soon after the FDA's emergency approval of the experimental drug remdesivir.
We intend to get that to patients in the early part of this next week.
As U.S. intelligence officials probe the source of the virus, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo pointed the finger at a China lab.
There's enormous evidence that that's where this began.
The secretary said he supports an intelligence report that the virus was not man-made. Last week, the president said he's also seen evidence that the virus originated in that Wuhan lab, but did not elaborate. And late today, he defended his travel ban on China. Monique?
Well, Nikole, former President George W. Bush released a video this weekend. It called for an end to partisanship in America's fight against the coronavirus. It did not mention the current president, but it didn't sit very well with him either.
Well, President Trump suggested that the former president did not put partisanship aside during his impeachment trial earlier this year. In a tweet, he cited a cable news host and said Bush was nowhere to be found in speaking up against what he called the greatest hoax in American history. Monique?
Nikole, thank you. Now